There are no writers and no one's on strike, but the Ghostbusters All or Nothing review has been pushed back because, well, originally we were going to talk about Ghostbusters for October, but I saw the Scooby Doo live action films on Max and I couldn't help myself. I thought, James Gunn, let's see how you treat a beloved property because you've got the keys to the kingdom for the DC Universe, my beloved property. And so, with that, that's what I watched. James Gunn's Scooby-Doo live action movies. And after that open rolls, I'm going to break it down. Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 by James Gunn. And so stick around and see how that review went. Scooby-Doo, the movie, came out in 2002 and it ran 1 hour, 26 minutes. The opening credits do a good job of bringing cartoon memories forward. I also like that they got straight into the first case. I love Fred checking his hair in the mirror. It reminds me of me and members of my family. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy with they get a very memorable introduction. This whole thing is just ludicrous, but in like the most fun way. A non-stop smile is what it feels like. Pamela Anderson out of nowhere with the celebrity cameo, very much like the old classic cartoon, when you would have Batman and Robin pop in and other characters. So, even though she doesn't fit within the context of the story, she fits if you understand the context of the characters and where they come from. I'm not sure how I feel about the team all quitting on each other. I like how Scooby asks Shaggy, "Do I quit?" And Shaggy says, "Friends don't quit." Way to go, Shaggy. I also find it surprising that the movie jumps 2 years. How are you going to rescue yourself when you always get caught? That's a great line that is asked of Daphne when all the team meet up together at the airport. I enjoy Shaggy giving the team a pep talk. Shaggy really is the glue of this movie as of so far. The soundtrack is just ultra 2002. Everything is just Memory City. Mary Jane is allergic to dogs. This feels important with how much they're emphasizing it. Mary Jane being a passenger that on the plane that the whole team is taken to a resort. Mr. Bean is the rich recluse. That was unexpected. I can't remember the guy's. I think it was like Rowan something. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. But Mr. Bean, classic character that people recognize. What is the deal with the departing visitors on this island? They seem like, I don't know, possessed or something. Such beautiful costume designs on this spooky island. While you party, they plot their revenge. That's a good line. Velma is smart enough to see through all of the illusions on the island, and she lays out why she's not worried about this plot being revealed because she can see all the strings and the fog machines and all the smoke and mirrors, if you will. Scooby being dumb and falling for the free hamburger trap is nifty. It's amusing because it just shows that he's good-hearted. Scooby is so happy, which puts a smile on my face. That is like never ending. Scooby hiding from the monster in the hamburger. It's priceless fun. Yeah, Mary Jane's allergy is for sure important. She sneezes all the time she is around Scooby. I'm assuming she's going to sneeze at another point when it'll need to be revealed to us. Daphne skillfully manipulates Scooby and Shaggy to help her investigate a case, or the case inside of a castle, but Fred and Velma are already on the mission. What an awesome spread of food that Shaggy calls. I love that he calls it a medieval sizzler. Velma is frustrated with Fred, and he says, "Dorky chicks like you turn me on too." And then when she gets irritated, he said, "It's a compliment." I just thought that was such a nice line, and it felt very James Gunn. Back to Shaggy and Scooby with the medieval sizzler. Scooby says that the food is plastic, and Shaggy says, "What do you care? You drink out of a toilet." And Shaggy says, "So do you." It's just, it's very fun writing. My goodness, the set design is on point. Everything is just popping. Nothing is boring or bland. And so many things are intriguing. Like, I ask myself, what is this training video that seems to be like brainwashing characters? Also, Daphne found some ancient pop-out piece. Not sure what's happening with it, but it's seemingly important. Fred, I got a plan, and it is to hide in plain sight, which feels very Scooby-Doo. Mr. Bean is surprised he is a suspect, and Fred says, "It's mostly because you creep me out." But I think it's because you invite the team there, and they've been split up for 2 years. That's mildly suspicious. Velma has a flashback with Scrappy in it, and he peed on her. That's not good. And anytime that I see a flashback that introduces a new character, it instantly raises some flags. Yep, Mr. Bean is 100% Scrappy, or Scrappy is 100% Mr. Bean. You don't set up a kicked out team member, then show an unrelated person scratching themselves like they're a dog. These two things have to be connected. There are like these purple monster things that remind me of the coffee-loving bugs from Men in Black. And they're just very intriguing to look at. I mean, they're much bigger than the bugs from Men in Black, but it's still a cool look. Hey, Sugar Ray. It was fun seeing Mark McGrath in concert a few years ago. And Sugar Ray here in this musical segment is very, again, 2002. Fred and Mark McGrath have both been turned into this weird zombified like thing. I don't even like soulless beings. And now it's revealed to us that Mary Jane, the character that Shaggy is into, has also been turned, only he doesn't know it. And when Scooby tries to warn Shaggy, Shaggy gets in his feelings about it, and he says, "Friends don't quit," which is great, but Shaggy misunderstands and thinks that Scooby is quitting on him when he's trying to help him out. Velma's also been captured. It's a whole lot of negativity for the team right now. The monsters in this movie are like the Damonites from a cartoon / comic book I really enjoyed called Wildcats, which is cool because I'm a big fan of them and Jim Lee, their creator. And with the way that James Gunn is writing the characters, I feel like DC owning the Wildcats could mean good things for the characters. Fred's spirit got put into Daphne's body, and Daphne's spirit into Fred's. Then they all jump bodies. It's not really funny, but it's okay. It's like the least fun thing they've done so far, so one dry spot's okay, I guess. I mean, they can't all be hits. And comedy is always one of my biggest hang-ups, especially with James Gunn. My goodness. Scooby is the pure soul that the bad folk need to take over. Which, makes sense. Scooby is a very lovable character. It is revealed that Mr. Bean, the big bad, manipulating Scooby. Shaggy's the big hero. Fred is fun as heck. Oh, the good old montage. That's what movies are missing these days. More montages are needed for sure. Scooby saying Cowabunga is awfully fun and reminiscent of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Scrappy Doo is a mutated monster at the end of the movie, and it's super ugly. Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo song, at the beginning and at the end of the movie is fun. Isla Fisher, the Mary Jane the actress who plays that character, man, she's so cute in this. And I just, I find it so enjoyable. Shaggy is cool. And, way to go, Matthew Lillard, for doing such great work. And I got to compliment James Gunn, a guy that I'm awfully worried about when it comes to the DCU. But I hope that James Gunn brings as much care, love, and attention to Superman Legacy as he did Scooby-Doo the movie, because I give this thing a solid 4 out of 5. It just feels like that James Gunn gave the love to Scooby-Doo in all the right ways. You see it all around, on the wall, and here in my hand. The reason this channel exists, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. Available via the link in the description. You can also get hats and shirts and tote bags, stickers, all kinds of fun things. If you follow the link in the description to explore all the products from Gamble Comics, back to the movie review. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed released in 2004 and ran for 1 hour, 32 minutes. This open isn't nostalgia bait like the prior film. It is just names flying onto the screen. It feels cheaper in execution than the original movie did, which is not a good sign. So this movie takes place 2 years after the prior film, and the team is big-time celebrities. They're being celebrated at a museum. Alicia Silverstone is she the Mr. Bean or the Pamela Anderson of this one? Not sure yet, but I look forward to finding out, because I was a big fan of Alicia Silverstone in one of the bad Batman movies. She feels like she's going to be the Mr. Bean just straight away. Shaggy and Scooby are still the best. Hey, we have Seth Green. Are you the Mary Jane, or is this someone totally different? Patrick, which is Seth's character's name, he's into Velma, and vice versa. She's into him, which is nice. But again, in both the case of the people that I recognize, they instantly feel suspicious to me. Lightning strikes the museum, and one of the monster costumes appears to have come to life. Well, I mean, at least one of them, but maybe more of them are coming to life. Enter a flying masked man, and I assume it is Seth Green, or, like I said, it could be Alicia Silverstone, possibly the limo driver. I'm not sure. The reason I suspect the limo driver, because since the team are all celebrities, Scooby accidentally spilled a milkshake on the limo driver, which makes me think, maybe he's out to get the team. Shaggy and Scooby feel guilty for screwing up, and Shaggy has Scooby swear to be better at being detectives. The first thing they decide to do is dress like the other teammates, which leads to a flashback where Velma explains who the original pterodactyl ghost was. The Black Knight ghost costume was stolen during the chaos from the masked man showing up in the museum, and the man behind the mask was released from prison recently, so obviously he's a prime suspect. This film feels like a love letter to the goofy side of the cartoon. While the island was fun, this one is so much more like the cartoon, with the bad guy's manner and the glowing footprints, just so many things about the way this movie has been executed feel like they were almost pulled from a cartoon and placed on screen. Matthew Lillard's Shaggy has such an infectious smile. He and Scooby being happy about finding clues is, very fun. This ghost chasing the team scene is maybe the most Scooby-Doo thing that they have done in either film. Mystery Inc. logo at the headquarters of the team reminds me so much of the Mission Impossible logo. Seth Green has shown up at the Mystery Inc. headquarters, and Velma is hiding from him because she doesn't believe in herself, and she likes Patrick, Seth Green's character, but she fears that she'll let him down by just being herself. So Daphne changes Velma into a version of her that is very Daphne-like. Although Patrick liked original Velma the way she was, so this doesn't really work to Velma's advantage, and that's just a good life lesson. Stick to who you are, and if people like you, good, and if they don't, that's okay too. All of the old bad folks hang out at a bar called the Faux Ghost. This feels like the villain pub from Superhero Cafe. The Faux Ghost, they have a whack-a-mole game with all of the Scooby-Doo team members as the moles, which is, it's a lot of fun. Scooby does a dance sequence that accidentally reveals himself to the bad guys, and yeah, this feels appropriate. The museum seems to have been hit again. Oh, great. All the costumes have been taken. I'm pretty sure Alicia Silverstone will be the daughter of the bad guy who got out of prison and she's out for revenge, maybe? Since she's always humiliating the team. Well, good job, movie. Daphne calls out Silverstone, and then it's shown that she can't be the bad guy because the bad guy shows up while she's in the scene. I'm glad I fell for the trap. I like it when a movie proves me or my theories wrong. Seth Green is at the Faux Ghost, and he might be the villain. This movie is better than the first one is, or so it feels like so far. James Gunn has outdone himself on this one. He gives me the care that is given, both with the first film and this one, gives me hope for James Gunn's DC Universe. Scooby and Shaggy accidentally transforming themselves was stupid, but also fun. I especially like the part where Shaggy gets all buff. Since Velma now suspects Patrick to be the bad guy, it makes me question the fact whether he is or isn't also. And I really like that this movie is keeping me guessing. Shaggy and Scooby inadvertently brought the costumes to life while celebrating the success they'd had finding clues. With that mistake, we get another very Scooby cartoon segment of the monsters chasing the heroes. Is it possible Seth and Alicia are working together? Could that explain how the masked man was around in both of their scenes where they were being called out? Or is there perhaps a third person that just isn't coming to mind? That maybe they were there the whole time and I just didn't notice. I'm not sure. Back at the old teenage hangout that we saw in a flashback, and the team comes up with a plan. Shaggy says they're having a montage without us on the outside while he's looking in, which I think is pretty fun that he's making a reference to something I'm a fan of. Shaggy says just once, I wish I could do the right thing on purpose. It's a very relatable thought from Shaggy, and it's sad that that's something that it's easy to relate to, but I like it. It's good stuff. Towards the end of the movie, Shaggy says a really great line. He says, "This is tied for the most terrifying day of my life." Velma asks, What day was that? And Shaggy says, every freaking day of my life. Bon Jovi plays while Fred jousts the Black Knight. And it's so good. This movie is pure fun. Please, James Gunn, ensure fun comes to and stays in the DC universe. Toyman comes to mind. Batmite is another option. Also, the Trickster for the Flash, just, no more Ezra Miller, please. And, on the subject of DC, I think that Warner Brothers missed the boat back in the late 90s or the early 2000s when they had the perfect opportunity to cast Wally West's Flash with Seth Green. He could have been a really great character because Wally West is fun, Seth Green is fun. Wally West has red hair, Seth Green has red hair. And I think that it could have been an interesting take on the launch of superheroes. And, late 90s, what'd you get? I think late 90s, it might have been, Batman and Robin is the last thing DC did. So I guess we can thank Joel Schumacher and George Clooney for not getting Seth Green as the Flash. But anyway, on the subject of Seth Green's character, with Patrick saving Velma from the pterodactyl ghost, maybe he isn't the bad guy, or maybe he has an evil twin, I'm not sure. Shaggy and Scooby save the day, and my original intuition of Alicia Silverstone was right, except her partner was her cameraman, and not Seth Green. So that's cool. Totally works out fine. I give this a 5 out of 5. I think it's a great movie. It is a movie that shows love to the property it came from, and it's exactly what I need James Gunn to do when it comes to Superman Legacy, which is write a love letter to all that has come before and do it right, please and thank you. So obviously with Scooby-Doo from 2002 getting a 4 out of 5, and Scooby-Doo 2 Monster Unleashed from 2004 getting a 5, this is an all of the franchise stays all or nothing. Thank you for tuning in, and come back next week. Enjoy.